Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Blackjack Johnny, and hopefully today we'll be taking a look at how we can create a telegraph wire under tension from a fallen object, as you can see in these screenshots here. We're just going to take a quick look in Radiant. I've got a really simple setup here. I've just used some basic cylinders just for some telegraph poles here. If you want to learn how to create some cylinders, you can check out my cylinders tutorial. I'll post a link under this video. And as you can see here, I've already got this set up, and we're going to take a look at how we can recreate this for ourselves. And we're just going to go back to a basic setup here with these telegraph poles, and we'll get cracking. So we've come back to our simple setup here. We've just got our cylinders for our telegraph poles, and another I've used a 1 unit thick cylinder for our wire here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a copy of that telegraph pole just to give us something to work with as our fallen object. And I'm just going to press R to enter free rotate mode, and I'm just going to left click drag and rotate this into a position I like. I'm probably going to change down a grid or two, just a little finer adjustments, and get it just the way I want it. Once I've got the angle right here, I'm just going to realign it with whatever would be our floor. We're just going to make it up as we go along here. The next thing we need to do, we're going to select the cylinder that's created our wire. And this is where we do the work. This is how we're going to create this effect. So you want to select your cylinder and press V to bring up the verts. Grab that middle row of verts, and I'm just going to pull it down. And I'm also going to pull it out, because of course this object's quite heavy, so we would have pushed it out as well as down. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and align these verts here with the center of our fallen object. And there's a good reason I'm doing that. It might not be clear just yet, but we'll just make sure that that row of verts is in the central position as possible on our fallen object. And I'm just going to do some fine adjustments here. I've changed down to a grid 1 just to get some fine adjustments, because I want this wire touching our object, but I don't want it passing through. I just want to get it as close as I can possibly get it. And if I just deselect now, we can see that our wire still has that concave loop to it, like it's hanging down. And this object here, this is going to be heavy. So it won't have, it's not natural to have that curve in there like that. So this is where we create the tension look, as if this wire is carrying weight. And you want to select your cylinder, press shift, and then you want to press open bracket. And as you can see there, if you keep pressing open bracket with pressing and holding shift, it will remove a load of subdivisions in that cylinder and leave us with just 3 points. A start, a middle and an end. And as you can see, what that's done is it's created a V shape with this cylinder, and that is what creates the tension look on the wire. So if we just take a look a little around here, you can see that that fallen object is pulling down and pushing out on that wire, and it gives a really nice effect. And that's what we were looking for with this tutorial. And that's the basic one of how we can do it, but we can take it up a couple of notches and add another wire in here. So I'm just going to select this one and simply copy it, and then I'm just going to move it over to this side. And once I do that, we're going to have to reposition the verts again. So let's press V on our keyboard to bring up the verts. Grab that middle row, if we can find it here. It's probably a bit further down. Yep, there it is. Grab that and pull it out again, and we're going to have to realign with our fallen object again. But it shouldn't be too tricky, since they're just copies of each other. And I'm going to move this closer to our second one, or our original one, because if we're talking about physics, it would have hit this wire first as it was falling, and it would have pushed it out slightly further. So just bring those two wires slightly closer together. Deselect, and there we go. We've got our second wire in there. We could take it another stage further, and we can actually put an angle in this fallen object, because of course it might not have fallen straight down. So let's take a quick look at how we can do that. I'm sure you can figure it out for yourselves, but I might as well pad this video out. So let's grab our object and just rotate it a little bit here. Get that into position. Next time I'm just going to select both of our wires, why not? Grab those middle verts and move them over, and it's this bit that gets slightly tricky, because of course it's on an angle. So one of these wires is going to be pushed slightly different than the other. So we're just going to have to maneuver these verts around slightly. I'm just going to get these in position, and I'm just going to check them. I'm using shift open bracket again to remove some of those subdivisions. They might start being added again as we're moving these verts around, so just keep an eye on that. And I'm just going to manipulate some of these verts here, and I'm just going to try and reposition these so it looks more natural with the way this object's fallen. I'm just going to line these back up, and it's just a simple case of doing this until you get it right, and hopefully it'll create a nice bit of detail for your map. I really liked it actually. It was one of the first things I saw in one of the stock maps from World at War, was on the airfield map where this was featured and where I took the screens from in the beginning, and I thought it was a really nice piece of detail, and I just thought I'd show you how we can possibly recreate that for our own map. So I think that's just about it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.